So who has a 100-word summary of all the trouble you got into last session?
I refuse to talk about last session because you're gonna do that voice again this session, and I just can't handle it.
I
We last
um,
session we met a guy. He was a real charmer who invited us to dinner. So we went and provided some good, well-meaning company, which Evie then screwed up by agreeing that we were going to be his vassals, and now we have to kill him. Also, his voice is annoying, so that's another reason.
unlike Thaco the clown, the Squelcher Lord interacts with you whether you like it or not.
The gang went to a party. That's what happened last week.
Yeah, when I first drafted this adventure, I thought that the Squelcher Lord is probably the most unlikable NPC I've ever developed.
He is pretty reprehensible,
He's
yes.
he's kind of the worst.
In a sea of like this is the worst NPC. So if we're the gang, who's Frank?
I think we were still trying to figure out who was Kramer.
Yeah, I thought you guys were Seinfeld, not
We could be
Always Sunny.
both,
You can't. Come on.
depending on what we're doing. We can be both.
Treble's Newman.
So you guys were trying to formulate a plan to assassinate the Squelcher Lord.
Right. I remember this because at the end of the session, you're like, "What do you want to go into the next session to do? Do you want to like hang back and get more information, or do you want to just go on and attack him?" And then we were like, "Ah, we need a little more information." And then you went, "Nope, sorry, nerds, it's happening tomorrow."
When you guys wake up the next morning, news reaches you that the Squelcher Lord has insisted that the wedding be done today. For reasons unknown, so all of the servants, all of the servants in his hall, I should say, are scrambling to make preparations complete.
Oh, here's my question. Why do we have to resolve this before the wedding? I don't understand this.
Do we?
Because it's going to be difficult to get to him.
I think the idea was that after the wedding, he's probably going to kick everybody out. And so at the wedding is the time that everybody's here. It's an opportune time to make it look like somebody who wasn't us did it.
What?
His estate is open right now, and it's just going to be more difficult to get in and kill him later. I mean, we don't necessarily have to do it today. I actually have a couple of ideas. All right.
Oh God, let's let the other people talk first. Let the adults go first.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of the mind that, yeah, like what do we even gain by his death? Honestly,
He's not there to claim that we're his vassals.
We gain personal satisfaction. We don't have to kill him, but we either have to change his mind about having the dam and treating us as his vassals, even though the contract clearly says that apparently we are.
I mean, our contract doesn't say that.
Ours does not. His does, and then we have to go to Big Daddy Aslan, and I don't think we want to go that route.
Something
And
tells me
resolve
he would
it.
not like to be called that.
Big Daddy Aslan. You sure about that? I don't know.
Big Daddy.
I think
Az.
he'd be down.
You can try. He's got a Twitter account. You can ask him.
I did. Solitaire introduced me to that.
This is a question needs to be asked. So the killing him is the easy way out. The other way out would be a lot of diplomatic negotiating, which would ultimately put us in a bad spot given his attitude.
He doesn't strike me as somebody who's willing to negotiate.
No, his idea of negotiation is you become our slave, and then sure, you can have rights to the water.
No, his says you can go up the hill with a bucket.
Well, that was his first offer. His second offer will be worse.
So part of negotiation, and this is something that I feel
You have to
you
have
guys,
something
you
the other
guys
party
lose
wants.
sight of, is you have to offer something as well. Like
We have to have
the
something
whole
they
point
want.
of negotiation is you reach a compromise each side. You guys just kind of walked up to the Squelcher Lord and said, "Hey, we're not your vassals, and now we're going to kill you because we don't want to be your vassals." You haven't actually negotiated, have you?
No,
No.
what we said was, yes, you're your vassals, and we'll be more than happy to walk up and do what you want.
Yeah, that's kind of Evie kind of screwed the pooch on that because like it did makes it sound like oh well we just capitulated, game over.
I mean, does he want to be assassinated by his non-vassals? I think we have a lot to offer.
Or we could just give him our kingdom and go back to digging up dirt and finding artifacts. Just say, screw it, we're done.
No, I don't think so.
Pack up on a wagon and leave.
Yeah.
Hard pass on that, homie. Sorry.
So one of the servants comes out to the beer house, where Victor and Evie were staying up at the Long Hall. We are at the beer house now. In fact, it was probably Victor and Evie that brought word down to the beer hall to the rest of you that the wedding was being moved up. While you're at the beer hall having this discussion, you are informed that one of Lord Randus's servants has come to make a request of you.
I guess technically I'm since Solitaire's not here and Evie's not available. Does that mean I'm in charge?
Does it?
I don't know.
No, bad idea.
Let's do this by committee. We'll do it by committee.
It's got to be by committee. What is the request?
So you admit the servant in. The servant is asking what bride gifts you have brought.
Well, we
Laugh
didn't
track, not MP3.
I think we should keep that a surprise.
we didn't
Oh, he doesn't like that
Okay.
answer.
we didn't know there was a wedding to begin with when we came to the lands. We were not told until we got here. We haven't
Yes.
had time to secure one.
What word shall I take back to my master?
That we will do our best to
Tell them that we are
what?
searching for the perfect wedding gift.
and that we were kind of surprised by the sudden advancement of the timetable.
Genie.
What?
Don't make us look like idiots.
Is
Tell your master that we are searching for the perfect wedding gift. And we will let him know once we have achieved it.
Well, my master has sent me to learn what you've brought, not to bring him assurance that you're looking.
Well, then would you prefer to stay here until we have something?
I have duties to attend to.
Well, then it seems you have two choices, doesn't it?
I'll take your words back to him. The servant takes his leave of you, and he's not pleased.
There was no right answer in that. We didn't bring anything to give you the gift.
Cousin Victor, I really do hope you haven't gotten that person killed by that.
Oh, I'm sure somebody else would have gotten him killed for something else. We need to put an end to this monstrosity.
Okay, so I have two ideas on we can do this, and then we can pivot one of the ideas into it's one of the ideas is pivotable. I guess that makes sense. We could pivot into murder, or we could pivot into buying time, and the other one is just straight up a murder plan.
Before you speak, Ekon, Edmont, any suggestions for how we resolve the situation?
Oh, by the way, I would have brought this up. Any discussion we get on the murder plan has to be
In private.
mind link. So if we're being watched, if somebody's scrying on us, they're just seeing us all four just sit there quietly.
How many people can be mind linked? And that means that everything has to be relayed?
Yep.
We don't have access to Thieves' Cant right now.
Yep.
That's how we did it last time.
Well, I mean, there's four of you and one of Evie, so. Unfortunately, my proficiency bonus is only 3, so only 3 of you can be linked.
There's only 3 of us.
No, there's 4 of us.
Well, I mean, out of character. Dude, he's an NPC.
No, we have McDohl.
Is it you plus? Is it 4 total? Like you don't count in that, do you? It's like
The
you
way
could
it
you
reads.
you
It
can
says-
link up to a number of people equal to your proficiency bonus. Why would they count you in that? Because that means when your proficiency bonus was 1, you could just mind link yourself.
Is your proficiency bonus ever 1?
No, it starts at 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would assume that he counts in that number for that reason. Sorry, Treble. So the town is in much the shape that you left it yesterday. The same bustling crowds. There is an air of kind of despair amongst the house servants that are running errands throughout the town. This timetable has been moved up, and nobody seems to know precisely why, just that it's something that the Lord wants.
I think
How about
I think
3
I
of
think
3?
maybe
Edmont, what
I
do you
think
got?
maybe I think maybe I try to slip into the palace unseen or into the long hall unseen and try and figure out why the timetable has been moved up.
So I was going to suggest that one of us go try and find information, and the other 3 of us can brainstorm what to do.
Edmont, are you going to sneak in?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's actually probably the most qualified.
Let's see. Let me just bring up my character.
How are you doing this?
Well, I do have 2 key points to cast the invisibility spell. Let me double check my. Let me double check the wording of the invisibility spell because I think it's as long as I don't attack, I can move around invisibly.
Okay. Yeah, the invisibility spell, I think it gives 10 minutes as long as you don't attack or cast a spell.
And then I think maybe if I can zip between shadows, I can also move around that way.
I mean, if you do get caught, just say that you just got lost looking for your cousin's room.
Give me a stealth check at advantage.
Come on, D20s, get out of here. That is a stealth of 18.
Okay. The tricky part is going to be moving around unseen without bumping into anybody, because there's a lot of hustle and bustle. So you manage to get onto the long hall grounds. Are you actually going into the building?
Yeah.
Where's your destination? You learn fairly quickly that most of the guests are still in their quarters, as is Lord Randus. The day-to-day tasks and kind of overseeing of preparations is being handled by the Lord's son, Drala. That's the scene when
Not
you
proficient.
arrive.
I'm not proficient in disguise kits.
Also, you're invisible, so...
Yeah. Well, see, the thing, my other idea was to maybe blend in, make myself look like one of the servants doing the hustle and bustle. But no, strike that.
How long does your invisibility last? Is it as per the spell?
As per the spell, yes. So 10 minutes.
All right, so you've got 10 minutes. And I'm going to say it probably took you 3 or 4 minutes to get up into the building.
Okay.
I mean, you're definitely disguised as an invisible servant.
Unseen
Perfectly.
servant.
Yeah. I'm going to go into the I'm going to go toward some of the guest quarters
Okay.
and see and listen in on some conversations there.
Do you have a particular guest in mind?
Uh,
What
You know
about the
what?
woman?
yeah. Yeah. Let's spy on the bride.
Let's you.
Outside of uh, Lady Calaris's door are two of her manservants, two of the men that they would have been staying
Wait.
probably down in the stables when you met her in the village a few days ago.
Hmm.
They're outside of her door, which is closed. And as you're approaching, oh, you're invisible. They can't see you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like they're taking up post in front of the door, and they're having just short banter conversations with other people going back and forth. But nobody's coming into or going out of the Lady Calaris' chamber.
Hmm.
From the position, she's up on a second floor room, and from this position, you can hear the dogs angrily barking
Bang.
downstairs. She was
Bang.
given the room above the kennels.
Yeah. Sucks to be her. Um. Then how about the bride? Do you think I could figure out where the bride is being housed?
Well, the bride,
I'm, yeah.
the bride is Nicola Lindisschmidt, who is Lord Randus's ward. So she has living quarters in the Long Hall.
Hmm. Yeah.
Fairly close to the actual hall. You learn that this first chamber here, coming down the hallway, is Lord Randus's, and then the one next to it, so it would be just off the map here,
Okay.
is the ladies. And then from there are stairs going up to the second level. Her room, there are young women, maids, going in and out constantly. It's going to require, I would say acrobatics might be appropriate to slip in the door
Okay.
while it's open.
Sure.
The difficulty is once you're in the room, you might not be able to get back out before your invisibility wears off.
Okay.
So on a scale of
Yeah.
1 to 10,
Yeah, let's do it.
all right, make an acrobatics check.
That is a 22.
Okay. One of the servants approaches the door with a tray of food and a kettle of tea. Just something light for the bride to eat. And you slip in the room behind her. And it's a fairly dimly lit and not a very cheerful room at all.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what Edmont's expectations were coming in, but it doesn't seem like the bride is in a cheerful mood herself.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
Make me a perception or insight check.
I'll go with insight. That's an 11.
An 11?
Yeah.
The servants are interacting with her very politely, but you do see a distance there. She rejects the food and the tea, so the servant kind of leaves it on a side table and then removes herself from the room. Meanwhile, other servants that come in and out, basically relaying news, discussing things, like predominantly what bride gifts are being given and by whom. There definitely seems to be a competition, some one-upsmanship amongst the various nobles who are going to be at the wedding. None of these things seem to improve her mood at all.
I'm going to operate on the assumption that the groom is not somebody who's appealing to her. or that the just the prospect of the wedding in general is not agreeable to her. So I'm going to proceed on that, and then I'm going to attempt to slip back out at the next time the servants come in.
Make me a dexterity saving throw. So that's a 1. I can't help but notice.
Yeah, the one.
All right.
A good save, right?
It's a 7.
We're going by Thaco, so low is better, right? Thaco, whatever.
What the Valerians do?
Echoes and Candlelight.
You did want to roll low on saving throws in 2nd edition, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Your saving throws improved by getting higher, and you wanted to roll under
Yeah,
them.
because the saving throw was the number you had to roll.
All right, make me a saving throw against Rod, Staff, or Wand.
Beef. That's what I rolled.
I kind of wish that was still a saving throw in 5th edition. I love the Rod, Staff, or Wand save. Because it would get applied to things that were not Rod, Staves, or Wands. Like the books would just say, roll against Rod, Staff, or Wand to avoid this thing that's not any of those things.
There was logic behind it, but Petrify was effectively your fort save. I think Rod, Staff, or Wand was effectively your deck save. But it's been so long.
I do.
There really was a relative internal consistency to that.
No, there was. You're absolutely right. But there is a little bit of enjoyment in my heart that like we can talk about 1st and 2nd edition D&D, and some people will be like, "That can't be true." Like people just won't believe us.
Because save versus spell was effectively a will save. Yeah. Yeah, this is all coming back to me now.
Edmont,
Meanwhile,
you wait next to the
Edmont's
door.
dying.
You've got maybe a minute or 2 left on your invisibility. You've learned that the bride's not very cheerful. She's not very talkative. Either her mood has soured her maidservants from talking to her, or they've been ordered not to speak to her, except in just very polite honorifics.
Okay.
You're starting to think it's a good idea to beat feet.
Yeah.
You wait for the door to open, and just as you slip out, you tumble into the wide wooden wash tub that's being brought into the room. The 2 maids carrying it shriek and drop the tub, and you crash into it. 1 point of bludgeoning damage.
Owie.
As you fall into and damage this tub, and the 2 maids shriek. And from the main hall, there are shouts. What is the man's name? The seneschal. I have my notes here. Leorno. There it is. You hear Leorno call from the main hall as he cranes his neck. Actually, probably couldn't crane his neck. He's a hunchback. He comes into the hallway. He starts admonishing the maids. What is the meaning of this? Nobody's noticed you. You're still invisible. We're not accounting that as an attack on the wash tub.
So I have 4 key points remaining, and I can take each one of my turns to dash at 120 feet around to get the hell out of this place.
Okay, so you're just gonna, while he's admonishing these 2 maidservants, you're going to get up to your feet and run out of...
Because I imagine I'm, like, covered in water, right?
No, that was it. They were bringing it into her room, and then they were going to fill it. There's no running water in this place. They've got to fill it from a kettle.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'm going to. I'm still gonna get the hell out of there because I don't want to run the risk of my invisibility wearing off.
Okay. You didn't hang around long enough to see whether or not the tub had been damaged or broken, but you definitely heard Leorno telling these girls that if the tub is damaged or broken, that the stipend will be taken out of their parents' earnings.
Listen, I feel really bad about that.
At least didn't say out of their hides.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
And yeah, by the time you get outside, out into the yard, the invisibility spell about wears off, and now you're just another man in the crowd.
Yep. Go ahead and return back to the rest of the group and inform them of what I've heard.
So
We
I guess
just-
we've been discussing like options while he's been gone.
He's
And
only
just-
been gone
yeah.
10 minutes. So,
I mean,
So we've started discussing options.
so just to kind of go through, like, he kind of answered some of the questions I was going to ask. Like, we need to find out what's the venue. Is the venue like inside the long hole?
yes.
All right.
There's going to be the ceremony, and then following the ceremony, there will be a feast.
Is it going to be in the main hall where people were eating the last time?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any windows in there?
In the long hall?
In that main hall area?
Here, let me bring the map back up. Even though I just went to all the trouble to load the town back up.
I guess these are windows.
Yeah, there are 2 broad windows along the, this would be the south face of the hall.
Yep.
But every time you've been in the hall, the windows have been drawn and boarded.
Are they entirely like no light getting through them?
Maybe a streak of sunlight here or there. I mean, they're not facing the sun at any point during the day.
No, I'm not worried about light. I want to be able to see through them.
No, because they're shuttered. Every time you've been in or have, near the long hall, the windows have been closed and shuttered. It's part of what makes it such a dim and dreary place.
Okay. All right. So,
What are your ideas, and I'll get mine.
all right. So I have an idea for a straight up just we drop the Squelcher Lord down and we murder him approach, and I have an idea that can be that can maybe extend our timeline a little bit, or maybe create an opportunity to murder. It's kind of got like the end state is kind of flexible.
Let's start with a murder one.
Okay, so if I could get, I don't know, within 90 feet of the Squelcher Lord, all right, I could teleport him basically 180 feet or so away from where he was, maybe into a spot directly next to the dynamite. And
Why not just 180 feet in the air and drop him?
Because I can't do that with. I can't do
180 feet in the dynamite.
Why don't you just can you teleport him into a wall?
No,
Well, that's useless.
you can't do that in 5th edition. In most spells. Another thing I could do is if I had time, I could probably just straight up murder him with a block of granite.
Can
And
what
I
if
pull out the
we-
scroll of creation. I have a scroll of creation. This I can summon by the words written, unless Brick rules otherwise. I'm fairly certain the way this works is I can summon a cube of material just anywhere, and if I summon it in the air, it will fall down and crush him.
What if you levitate him, and then if
He
the spell
weighs
wears
less
off,
than
we'll see.
500 pounds. That's
no.
that's
no.
very much in the air.
No, it's not. That's the problem.
The other thing I had actually lines with the information that Edmont brought back. And it might be doing the girl a favor. My other idea was we kind of pivot that same action of instead of we teleport the girl away and run off with her.
You want to kidnap
To-
the princess?
We kidnap the princess to, they can't have the wedding if
To another castle?
yeah. And she seems unhappy. And then my idea was, either we use this to buy time, as they're looking for her, maybe this creates an opportunity, or we get our warlock friend to maybe disguise herself as the princess and get close to him and then murder him in his sleep.
Okay, those are some ideas.
I don't know what abilities she has, but I figure, I can cast Alter Self. Maybe she can too. I don't know.
Well, the question is, would he detect it? So
Disguise self, probably Alter Self, maybe not.
I have some ideas as well. Maybe not as creative as some of those, but we could always just try and poison his food. He seems to eat a lot. That might be an option. We could murder him in his sleep. we're getting straight up murder, right? We could, hear me out, I know this would be difficult, what if we kidnap him and just throw him in the mists?
So, several questions. One, where do we get the poison?
Evie can make some.
We do not have time for that.
Well, whenever she
Character.
wakes up from her beauty sleep,
Go ahead.
Out of character, we don't have access to Evie at all in any form.
well, not right now, no, but eventually she'll be back today.
Maybe. We don't know that. We can't bank on that.
So,
Okay, so those are some of the more direct routes. There's some indirect things.
Second question: how would we get in the place to kill him?
Oh,
and-
we can sneak in or just walk in. We're his vassals, right? We can bring him a gift. I don't know.
Like, we could just nonchalantly walk up into his bedroom while he's asleep.
Well, no,
Right.
obviously when he's asleep, we sneak in.
And the other thing is like, again, like, I don't think we can move him to kidnap him.
That may be a problem, but there's other things we can do. If we want to try something a little more egregious, we could cause some amount of chaos and confusion, and then kill him during that confusion. It does seem like there's a lot of dislike of the man, just not necessarily open. We could use the decanter of endless water to drown him.
I feel like
I
you're
think
reading
that'd be
these
a
off of a
fitting way.
list that you spent all week adding to.
What's that?
I feel like you're reading these off of a list that you spent all week adding to.
No, I spent like 5 minutes.
What are Ekon's thoughts on all of this?
Ekon's thoughts are that we should probably, whatever we're doing, the main thing we have to decide is when we want to do it right now. Like, are we going to actually try and do something before the wedding? Is that later today, or?
It's this afternoon.
Yeah, so, want to do something, try and do something this morning, try and do something tonight after the wedding? Like, that's the real thing we have to decide right now, is what we're going to do for the next, 4 hours.
So does that mean that we don't want to forge some sort of letter to Aslan and just have Aslan take care of this for us?
I get the feeling, having met Aslan, that he doesn't care.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm going to share with you some knowledge that could potentially get you in some serious trouble.
Then don't.
No fun. Fine.
Just don't. What is wrong with you? Especially not here.
We are having this conversation over Mind Link, by the way.
Sure.
But okay, so all right.
We can't just run in and kill him because then the guards are going to take us out, and there's too many of the guards. We're going to have to find some way to bribe the guards or somehow get the guards less interested in stopping us. That's going to have to be step one.
Here's what I think. We our best. We already have somebody that wants to kill him, right? I think the best use of our time is we do what we do best, which is causing a distraction.
Yes.
We are chaos personified as a family, right? We go in there, we make a big mess, a big spectacle, and then we let the what's her name, whose name I don't remember, we let the warlock, the person that came here to assassinate him, let her do the assassination during the diversion.
I agree, but we're going to need to do something about Liorno. Don't know if he's completely as powerless as he seems. I feel like he is a strong weapon in the wheelhouse.
We know he's a spellcaster. She told us he specializes. He's got divination magic that he uses.
So we're gonna have to somehow get rid of Liorno before we can actually get to Randus. I'm not saying kill him. He seems like a nice guy, but we need to.
Liorno. Which one was it? Liorno? Oh, Liorno's the hunchback, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the lady. But like the actual guy himself.
Oh yeah, Randus is a warlock. I think we're safe assuming that. Randus is not going to be as easy to kill as we think. But I feel like if we don't get Liorno out of the picture, his loyal hunchback servant, there will be problems.
I'm not worried about him.
Cousin Victor.
He's a nice
tell
guy. I
me-
don't want to kill him.
Cousin Victor. Edmont taps
Yes.
his head and says, "What information is this?"
Perhaps we should find a better place to talk. I'm assuming like Edmont, Ekon, and Eugenia are just like at the bar, standing drinking beer or something.
Well, I mean,
Oh, we're probably up in
I
our
thought we
room.
were. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why Edmont is the. Basically, what Edmont wants is the information that that the Vistana gave you.
Oh, you want that information?
Yeah.
The information that Genie does not want to hear.
Yeah.
Genie,
Not right
Edmont
now.
wants it.
Genie, I'm gonna have to place you on a brief hold. Ekon, do you want to hear this information?
Sure.
Yep. All right, Genie, I'm gonna place you on a brief hold.
It's not that I don't want to hear it. I just don't want to hear it right now. It's not relevant to the situation, probably.
Maybe
Mm,
it is.
Okay, I tell you what, Edmont, if you, at the end of this, you feel like this is relevant to our situation, then please let me know. And
Okay.
then I will listen then. But this is Victor.
So Victor will switch the lines up. All right. So here's the deal about our good friend Aslan, right? You know how? Well, no, you aren't old enough yet, but Aslan is what you will come to learn is impotent in a certain way. Apparently,
I think I'm older than you.
no, Victor's 22.
I'm like 3 years younger.
You're too young.
I know how
to
the
about
weenus
it.
works, homie. Cousin, I know how the weenus works.
Well, he's saying
Anyway.
it doesn't work, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, Aslan's magical wee does not work. So Aslan, since coming here, has been unable to learn any new forms of magic. Obviously, Randus is a spellcaster of some sort. The question that may be of interest is, has Randus actually shared any of his knowledge of magic with Aslan? And how likely might Aslan be to believe that Randus is withholding knowledge that he does not wish to share?
On the
Because
flip
it's-
side, here, hear me out on this. So, what if Randus, if he's already probed Randus for information, it found him wanting and has no desire to deal with him anymore, and that's why he granted us the land that is in dispute.
That certainly
Yeah,
could be
because of
one
this.
reason. The danger, of course, is that if we let Aslan know that we are aware of his challenges, it will not bode well for us.
No,
But if we were to inform Aslan that Randus has been telling people about this, claiming that perhaps he's more powerful and he's better than Aslan and he deserves to be the rightful ruler, given that he is not limping along, that may provoke a response from Aslan, in which case we wouldn't have to deal with it. However, I don't think we have time for such a long-term solution.
no.
So,
But I,
updating
Okay.
my notes, now Victor, Ekon, and Edmont know Aslan's secret.
And we're all
Yeah,
going
that
to
sounds
die
right.
because of it, yes.
yeah.
All right.
Don't worry.
Edmund,
I'm not
do you-
breathing a word of this to anyone.
Okay. So, and
But-
Jeannie will ask you, do you think this is relevant to our immediate problem?
Not immediate, but definitely something we could broker in the future if we need to.
All right. Well, I'll just, not worry about it until then. Because it's Victor.
Around this time, so about an hour has transpired since this morning. Another servant arrives with the same question as before. Lord Randus needs to know at this point what bride gift to expect from House Veritas.
God damn it, I'm going to give him Genie. He's going to be his wife.
Wow. You tell him that?
Yes.
No.
The servant gets very flustered. Begging your pardon, my lords.
Do you not think that she's fit for Lord Randus?
I'm going to stand up, walk over, and just straight up, like, cross counter Victor in the face.
Victor will dodge.
Is this the message I should bring back?
If you tell him
Yes.
that, I will kill you. do not.
You telling the
understand
servant
me?
you're going to kill him?
If he tells the Lord Randus that I'm going to marry him, yes.
And he takes a step back out of the room, clearly afraid of what you're capable of.
It's only been an hour. Please let him know that due to the accelerated timetable of the wedding, we have not had a chance to get one, and we're working
No,
on
this is the gift, and Victor will switch the mind link to Genie and say, "You wanted an inn? Take it."
I will kill you.
The servant stammers out his affirmation that he's heard the message you want to send back, and he makes himself very scarce, having witnessed violence and being threatened himself.
Victor, I will kill you in your sleep. I swear to God.
You
You
wanted
hear
an inn.
over the mind link.
This gives us an inn. I'm sorry
I
you
feel
have
like
to
we've
be
lost control of our lives.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, it's been like that, and I'll look at both of you. I'm sorry. He's been like this ever since we were small children.
Well, you have your cousin. You have your family killed by your cousin to see how you turn out.
Your cousin didn't kill your family.
So,
I forget what I did.
do the four of you have any intention on acquiring a bride gift of any kind before the ceremony?
Where can we even get a bride gift on such short notice?
I mean, it's essentially just a rustic village. There is some wealth here, but it looks like it's all already controlled by Lord Randus.
what do we have on our character sheets? Hold on.
We have a decanter of endless water, which would solve his water problems.
I have my enchanted harpoon.
Remember, it's a
Do we
gift for the
want to
bride.
give him something good?
So, to be clear, the bride gift is something that would be given to the bride's father during the ceremony. That's the implication here.
Oh,
She doesn't
okay.
have a father. Her ward is Lord Randus. He's going to be receiving these gifts.
Yeah, which is why Victor volunteered Genie as a gift for Randus.
You are the absolute worst. I hate you so much.
As far as acquiring anything valuable or any treasure like in the village in the next couple hours, that's probably very unlikely. If you're going to give a gift that's not intended to offend him, it's probably going to come off your character sheets.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking.
I have already been on my awkward date for the campaign. Thank you.
You wanted a way to get close to kill him. Careful what you ask for.
Like, I don't have much on my character sheet.
I mean, I have a
couple of, let's see, like, I'll just start pulling stuff out. Like, let's see.
I have a vial of green liquid.
What is that from?
It's from the dragon, dude.
No, I have that because I took it to. Remember, yeah, it's Emerald Dragon Blood.
We have stone speckled eggs.
I don't know if we actually kept those.
I'm sure we did.
I have the eyes of the dragon. I have the Emerald Dragon Blood, the vial of Emerald Dragon Blood. I have 2 scrolls of Gust of Wind. We can just give him some pythons and go on about our life.
Victor still has the werewolf piercings.
Yeah, that's not going to go well. What if the two of
I mean,
you
you
got?
could just give them some gems. Like,
Yeah, you could do
So,
that too.
Vic-
My,
yeah,
the
Vic-
most,
Well,
most
Victor has-
disposable but nice looking stuff we've got would probably be some of the gemstones.
Yeah, Victor has a potion of heroism, the decanter, and some werewolf rings.
I have my enchanted harpoon. That's it.
Oh, and I have a treasure map too.
It's honestly not as necessary for me anymore because I do have my monk ability now that lets me ignore magical resistance from non-magical weapons.
Magic
I also have
punches.
I also have magic anti-water salt. I forget what that was for, but I still
I
have some.
think we should probably just go with the gems. Go with the gems and maybe the potion.
Do we want to give the guy we're going to kill a potion of heroism?
Is he going to drink it, or is he going to just put it in a vault and let it sit there?
If
like
we
a
attack,
dragon?
we might drink it.
I don't know. I'm kind of on board with disposable stuff.
I'm on board with having Genie be bait. I think what's the worst that could happen?
I'd burn this
My
entire
vote's for the
village to the ground.
gems.
So about an hour before the ceremony is set to begin, a third servant comes around. It was the same man the first 2 times. This is a new man. He informs you that Lord Randus was very angry to hear of House Veritas's marriage proposal. This was not an appropriate venue for this sort of negotiation to be done. Also, and the servant with great difficulty stammers out this next bit, but present company is too low-born to be my lord's bride.